What's up, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. We are back out in the shop working on the little Toyota again. We just got done doing stuff to the bumper. There wasn't much on this that I needed to do. I welded a couple tabs on for some clevises for toe points. We might have to cut this hitch off, the receiver hitch, and then move it back. It might hit the shackles, but for now, we're gonna leave it and try that out. And then we're moving on to the axle today. We got a bunch to do to this. We need to finish weld these brackets on, and then we need to cut the back ones off. I want to bend this brake line a little bit better and add some tabs along here. We gotta do a third member, clean it, paint it, just a whole pile of stuff. So we're gonna be knocking that stuff out today. Got the sides welded here, so now we're going to go around and touch the tops, and we should be done with those. Looking mint, eh? Alright, well, move on to the others. These completely welded now. Next up, we're gonna start cutting these things off, which should be all of the fun, because there's a lot there. Battery died. All right, we have the old shock tabs completely cut off and ground down on both sides, so that is taken care of. Now all that is left that I'm wanting to do is reroute or kind of change the routing of the brake lines here, and I want to add a bunch of tabs. There really isn't anything on here. There was one up here that is broke off. So what we're going to be doing for that is I have these P-clamps that I use for like wiring and whatnot. These work great for the brake line. They have a rubber insulator there so it won't wear down on the brake line. What we're going to do is weld the nut on the axle itself, and then we'll use these little bolts with some lock washers to bolt the P-clamp to it and hold the brake line in place. And we'll just kind of toss a couple along here after we reroute the lines, and we'll be good to go. All right, so that's kind of like what I'm talking about. The nut is welded onto the axle itself, and the P-clamp goes there. I'll have shorter bolts in it. I just need to trim them down, but that is what I'm shooting for. Now I just need to add a few more along here. We got the tabs all along the axle for the brake line. I'm going to straighten out a few parts here, make it a little bit cleaner, but this is what I'm working with so far. Nice and sturdy, happy with it. And then I'll end up shortening the bolts, so those are the correct size, and I'll probably add some washers, but All right. right, the axle is officially completely done, cleaned, prepped, and ready to go. Next up is the third member. Got everything done on this thing, brackets welded on. I ended up cutting off this piece and adjusting it, but that is all ready to go. So this is the rear third member. Got the new bearings put in. I did not film any of that, just trying to get it done, but it is ready to go. We are rocking the same gears that are in it because those were good from before. And this is the E-locker. We're gonna be rocking that as well, but it is ready to toss in there. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna throw some silicone on the axle and we'll get this thing put back in. All right, guys, we are jumping forward quite a bit here. We got the rear axle installed in the Toyota. Everything is wrapped up on the back except for the hubs. I was waiting on some parts for those, so we got to wait until we get the bearings and seals for that, and then we can toss those in. But brake lines and everything are done. These are the little tabs that I did on the axle to keep those in place, just some P-clamps and nuts. Got some Ford shocks up here. These have a lot of length in them. I ran these before in the K5 and they did all right, so they're a good budget shock to toss in here for now. And then on the diff here, this actuator was not working, so I had to completely take that apart and clean it. It was full of gunk and grime, and then the wires are kind of chopped up here, so we threw some silicone on there to hopefully keep that sealed enough for now. And then for the driveline, we went with a Tom Woods driveline. We're probably going to do this for the front as well. We'll see if we have time, but this thing's pretty beef. I have not ran one of these. They heard good things, so we're going to try that thing out. Other than that, the majority of the back of the vehicle is all wrapped up: bumper, axle, leaf springs. So we're going to be moving on to the front axle next. We have a bunch to do up here. We need to get the springs swapped in this thing, armor on the, we got to do pumpkin armor truss here, and then rebuild the front axle and put the new third in. And I'd like to install some frame plates because I got those as well, and then different shock hoops. The passenger side tower is cracking, so we'll get new stuff put there, and then maybe toss a little bit of paint on this thing, and then the front axle will be complete. Anyways, I know I jumped forward quite a bit there, but I'm hustling pretty hard to get this done. We're hoping to have this thing down at King of the Hammers. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it. We have a lot left to do on this, and we're coming down to the wire on this thing. I'm not sure when you guys are gonna see the videos for this build. It's probably gonna be after King of the Hammers, but anyways, that's what we're rushing to get this thing done for, is King of the Hammers. If not, we'll end up taking the first Gen Tacoma, which will be fine, but I would really like to try this thing out down there and see how it does. So other than that, we're gonna be moving on to the front axle in the next video, most likely the leaf springs first, and then doing the front axle rebuild, truss, and all that jazz. So drop a comment down below what you think of this thing so far, and a like as always, that helps out on the videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.